Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the latest episode of Outcast, the day after that. And this had some interesting impacts going forward for the story. In the beginning, we saw Kyle and Giles going around trying to get more information about what's going on. And it was really interesting how it went on at first, because they went up to this guy's house. Giles was pretty much talking with the husband of the woman who they know is possessed, and he just forces them in and forces their way in, and he's pretty much holds the gun to the dude's head and threatening him while they're trying to figure out what's going on with his wife. Kyle's touch does harm her, but of course she's completed in her possession now, and he threatens to have his blood on her if she doesn't tell them what's going on. And she doesn't know where Sydney is, but that he's got allies and everything going on around the town. So it's like, okay, we'll have to see what's going on here. Of course, Kyle's trying to, he's like, alright, let's go. And Kyle's just like, he kind of wants to go and take these things out. Warpath kind of thing. Well, not complete warpath, but since he's a police officer, he understands that they're going to have to do some things to get through this and figure out the full extent. And that's what Kyle's trying to do. He's trying to figure out what's going on and how he's going to be able to try and stop it. So that's pretty much the extent of their interactions, at least at the moment. Kyle also throughout the episode has to go and pick up Mark's possessions, because in the beginning of the episode we see what their whole plan was for getting Megan off of the murder charge of Mark. And a police officer finds his vehicle crashed and him dead at the scene, so they rule it an accident and everything. And of course, Giles is in the police station figuring that out. But the mayor's pretty much trying to tell him to stop doing what he's doing. But of course, Moore is trying to be concerned for him, like, oh, you've been doing this job so long and everything's stress gotten to you. Why don't you go and just let somebody else take care of it, like Officer Tuttle, who had found Mark's body. And he's like, no, I'll be okay. I'll just see what's going on, kind of thing. And it's like, okay, how the mayor, it has to either be one of them or is heavily influenced and leveraged by Sydney for what's going on. So Kyle goes and gets the effects of Mark, and while he's there, there's this body that's really weird looking that I didn't understand what was going on until we got later in the episode. It's like, okay, like there's an autopsy going on. We see this black stuff coming out that's similar to the demons, and we'd seen that Sydney's body, something's going on. He has all these medications, and he's coughing up this black thing, all this black liquid, so we'll have to see what's going on with him. He's not completely alright, but he's still using himself as kind of like, we don't know if he's a general, but he's definitely a lead person in what's going on. We also get some stuff going on with Amber. She wants to leave and go home and have their family back together, but of course Kyle's like, listen, I want that too. And to Kyle's credit, he's being granted, there's different levels of being like good dad and bad dad, but he is not talking down to his daughter. He is trying to be as diplomatic as possible. Being like, listen, I know this is shit for you. I know this is shit for me, but I'm going to be straight with you as much as possible. He can't divulge all the information that he knows about what's going on with the demons because he doesn't know that much himself, but he's still trying to reassure her and be like, listen, this is only temporary and everything. So while he's there, also, he gives Mark's possessions to Megan, kind of leaves her alone. We see her pretty much having her own kind of Macbeth moments of out damn spot as she's scrubbing her hands because she keeps seeing the blood and killing Mark. And let's see. Another big thing is Reverend Anderson being in prison, telling Patricia that he probably killed her son, and her being really pissed off and being like, I'll come back once I've found Aaron. It's like, okay. We also get this other dude, Jason, who's thrown in the cell pretty much seemingly for drugs at first, and we get their whole thing. It's kind of interesting, but not really. I'm actually more interested in the demon stuff going on rather than I don't know. I'm intrigued by Reverend Anderson's loss of faith with God and kind of his wrestling with what's going on. I just wish that it would be done in kind of a better manner, or that it wouldn't be done to a detriment of the other things that are going on in the episode, because I'm like, what's going on with the body? I want to see more of what's going on with Kyle and Giles going around trying to figure out stuff with the demons. So, let's see. The dude's messing around and pretty much having supposed withdrawal symptoms, but then he gets possessed and tries to go after Anderson, but essentially just ends up killing the host, pretty much. That guy gets dragged away, and Giles comes in and pretty much lets him know that he's off the hook because the dead body under the trailer is not Aaron. But let's see. It is that body that we've seen in the morgue. And it's like a woman who was ritualistically murdered at least about 30 years ago, like lips sewn shut, body wrapped in plastic, really kind of weird. It's like, what's going on with this? And eventually we do see that Sydney goes and looks at the body, sees the black liquid, and touches the body. It's really kind of weird. And later we see that the body is taken out by, we don't know if it's Sydney, but it pretty much kind of fits his kind of like physical profile that it is him that takes it. Let's see, what else kind of happened? Megan kind of explains why she loved Mark and that Mark could see through her shit and everything, but now he's gone, and Kyle is still trying to explain to her it was not her that killed Mark. There was something inside her controlling her, and of course he needs to know more of what that is to explain that to her. Of course that doesn't really help her now, but that's kind of where it's kind of left off. She just tells him to leave, and he does. He, of course, goes to the hospital to see his mother, and, of course, the doctor tells him that she's having multiple organ failure and that she's either got a couple months or days at best. And then the doctor's trying to write him a prescription for what's going on. And see, Kyle had went out to the trailer and saw these prescriptions, like, oh, this is kind of weird. But he was trying to write out something for Kyle, and Kyle's like, why are you so interested in me? He's like, you better stop what you're doing, kind of. It's like, okay, so the doctor's involved. That's great. And, of course, Kyle was about to kind of, like, follow him and everything, but he gets out, kind of beats at him on the car. But Kyle was about to speed off because Amber had run away. He, of course, gets to her, and that's where she talks about wanting to have her family together and everything. But he's like, okay, we got to deal with this first. So the episode pretty much ends, and Sydney talks about more of the stuff about what's going on about, like, the merge. There's some kind of merging that's going to be happening, and that Kyle will know what it means to suffer, and that the doctor is at this house with him, and that they are trying to help someone who looks burned. I don't know who it is. My closed captioning said that it was a woman whimpering or crying, and that he was saying that everything's going to be all right. But we don't know exactly what is going on there. It's got to be related to the corpse, so that's going to be an interesting aspect. Another thing that we get towards the end of this episode is that Megan attempts to kill herself. And I'm iffy about her parts, not because they aren't interesting, it's just it doesn't feel as well executed or communicated what's going on with her. I don't need a character to completely proclaim, thus, this how I feel. But there needs to be more emotion or things going on to telegraph or show or explain what they're feeling. And granted, we kind of got that, but it's like, I understand she's freaked out that she killed Mark, but I mean, she goes off to kill herself by drowning herself in the lake, and then she realizes she's pregnant, and she's trying to stop herself. I'm like, you have a daughter already. Now, granted, I don't know why she would have forgotten she was pregnant that fast. I understand she learned it, she got possessed, and all hootenannies going on. But the daughter is also there as well, and I'm like, aren't you kind of freaked out that what's going to happen to that girl? That she saw her mother kill her father and then kill herself, and what that would do? And then she'd probably have to live with Kyle, who she already blames Amber and Kyle for what happened. Now, granted, Kyle would try and do the best of that situation. We're like, holy shit. But as she's trying to, like, get her way back to the surface, she kind of goes out and somebody grabs her up. So we'll have to see what repercussions go from that. But I'm more intrigued with, like, Kyle, Giles, and Reverend Anderson. I would like more of a focus on them. Not that Megan and her daughter are not interesting, or other things going around the town are not interesting, but problems with shows like these is that, well, TV shows in general, is they put sometimes too much. It goes for a lot of content versus quality content. I will take a nice, lean, honed story over plot A, and then we see B, C, D, and sometimes even an E floating around attached, swinging around from a frickin' ceiling fan going, wee! No, I don't need to focus on that. It can be kind of cool to show things that are going to be going on or lead up to things that will intersect and interweave, but it's got to be done masterfully. That's why you don't see that many people that can spin or juggle, like spin a lot of plates or juggle a lot of balls around. It takes finesse and it takes mastery to do that. And just shoving 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag is not a good idea. So I hope that things kind of even out going forward. Not that I'm not interested in what these plots could allude to and get into, but I just hope that they're executed better going forward and we get more information upon what's going on, more focus on our protagonist anchors and our antagonist anchors and what their plans are and how their fighting is going to affect this town and the world. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.